Hey, I'm back, and in this video I'm going to show you how I install my lithium battery system. So what I'm going to do is end up putting the battery system into the generator box in the back. You can see here my batteries here, big bulky heavy things. This axle is set a fair way back on this Caravan, so we get a lot of tow ball weight. So I'm going to remove those batteries, and then I'm going to put my lithium battery setup into the generator box down here. These days, you know, the rules and regs with lithium, they've got to be in a sealed box and it'll be vented to the outside. And what system am I going to put in the Caravan, I hear you ask? Well, here we go. Kick-ass, all kick-ass gear. I tell you what, this is the best stuff. You can see here in the canopy that I've had in here for a long time now is the Power Boss. This is the later version. So this one over here is the 2 kilowatt inverter, and this has got a 3 kilowatt inverter, which is perfect for the Caravan. I'll be able to run the aircon, all that sort of stuff. With the Power Boss, it's got the 3 kilowatt inverter. It's got 150 amp AC to DC charger, so this thing is going to charge up really fast when I plug it in. It's got a 50 amp DC to DC charger as well. This is all, you can actually change all this in the settings. So if the alternator is not going to be big enough, I can run maybe 20 amps into this and maybe 40 amps into this, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's also got a 50 amp solar controller in there as well, and it's got a 50 amp DC load output. All Bluetooth. It's just amazing. The app is fantastic. And I've got these, well, you'd have to say these are pretty much the best batteries on the market. The Ultra X 230 amp slim line. Look how slim that is. And I'm going to put 3 of these in the Caravan to give us about 690 amps, just under 700 amps. How good's that? So to start off, I'm just going to remove all these wires here. I'm going to mark all the wires where they go and take out the superfluous stuff like the MPPT controller here and this battery protector. Remove all this. I'm going to take this wall out, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I've removed all the components from this board up here, and I've pushed everything back through. Everything's marked. Just got to take off this panel now and see what's behind. I reckon there's going to be a lot of wires behind here. Well, this is not pretty, but we're getting there. Oh, I'm cracking a sweat here. Well, just a start, but that was not easy. Hang on, I thought I had it. Nearly there. There we go. Look at that. Now I've got to clean it up. What's it look like in there? Holy moly. Hey, Caravan electricians, don't you love them? Well, there's some dodgy wiring going on in here. No wonder some of these Caravan mobs go broke. Funnily enough, mine did. But anyway, not too bad at all, really. It looks like a bit of a mess in here, but I'm just starting to individualize everything here, getting it all sorted, and then we'll get the wiring back down that way through the fridge, back into the Power Boss. And just to make sure I distribute all the weight around this box, the generator box, it's fairly flimsy in there. I want to have something to mount on as well. I'm just using some 16mm ply, and I'll just pretty it up with some nice black marine carpet. Won't be finished without that. Well, it looks pretty nice so far, if I do say myself. So being restricted on space too, there's a little bit of manoeuvring going on in here. I'm thinking if I pop this up here, the top of the Power Boss is the fans. I need them to make sure there's enough room up there. There's probably about a foot, I reckon, which is pretty good. So I've decided to put the cutoff switch over here, and I can start wiring. So like I said, it is really, really simple to hook up. You've got your alternator positive, negative, your solar positive, negative, and your load, everything going out for your 12 volt. So all my batteries have been disconnected, obviously, no 240 in here, but yeah, just going through, and look at this red dust, it never ever disappears. Might have to have a shower tonight. To make it easy, because there's so many wires that go up inside the Caravan into that control box I was showing you before, I'm just going to run some 8 BNS wire and join it up to where it left the negative on the battery, and obviously the positive on the battery over here. So I'm just going to join that up, and then that'll run to the load. Might be a little bit longer, but should I run the 8BNS? It's 100 amp, that stuff, so it shouldn't have too much of a loss. All right, we'll connect up this negative and positive. They're really nice terminals too for hooking up into the power boss. There we have it. There's a DC load connected to the Caravan. Oh, you're joking. Look what I've done. It's got to go in the bloopers, that one. I went outside of the little channel there. Yeah, well, I'll just do it again. I've opted to run all the 12-volt wiring down through the floor of the Caravan. You can see it comes down through here and it goes back up into a bit of a void box under here where I store a few things, and then comes out the back of the fridge just here, and then I don't know if you can see up there, but it goes up through the back of the fridge void, and then from there, and of course I'm going to give this proper protection all the way along, it then goes up around the fridge. I'll attach it up here, and then you can probably see the little hole that I've drilled in here already. It goes through to the wiring inside the Caravan. I'm now running the solar panel cables, so you can see here you got your PV positive, PV negative. I'm going to run 2 of those to each connection. So what happens, I've got 2 leads coming from the solar input there that goes into that 50 amp MPPT charger, and then out through the floor here I've got this lead, and I'm going to run that up underneath there, put an Anderson plug on it, so when I pull up I'll protect it as well, because there's going to be a lot of dirt and dust and rocks floating around under here. I can then just put a blanket in on those days when I need the extra solar going in. This is the moment that I've been waiting for a long time. So I won't call them, I'm not going to call them useless AGM batteries, because they've done me well for a few years, but it's time for these suckers to come out, and they're heavy. Few rocks along the way from the desert. I've just placed the batteries in there at the moment. They're looking quite good. There's not a lot of room in here. There's quite a bit of room at the top there for, I get the heat to disperse a little bit. On the door I'm going to have 2 fans, one that sucks and one blows, obviously, to try and create that airflow in here to keep everything nice and cool. I'm going to run a battery bus across the top of these terminals here on negative and positive. And I'm also just about to build a bit of a rack in here just to hold the batteries in nice and securely. So I put the timber at the bottom down here as well, just to make sure I've got something nice to grab on, and of course to distribute all that weight too, because there is a bit of weight in here. It is supported underneath here as well by a nice part of the frame, part of the chassis that sits directly under there, plus I've got that 16mm ply. So yeah, it's looking good. Not even the worst corrugations in Australia are going to shake this thing loose. Look at this, she's in there nicely now, strapped in as well. I've made up a couple of battery buses as well there. You can see they're aluminium. I'm going to get some copper ones, so I don't have them yet, but they'll be an easy swap over. Really simple. So the power boss just has 4 screws holding that in. So 4 screws holding in an inverter, a DC to DC, an AC to DC, an MPPT. How good is it? Well, this is the bit that I've been putting off for the longest time, but anyway, I've got to eventually do something about it. Oh, where do all these wires go? Luckily I did mark them. But anyway, I think my first plan of attack will be to clean up this cutout I've done here, create another board, place everything on there to get a bit of a plan on where it's all going to go, and then hook it up. Sounds really easy, doesn't it? Well, lucky for video editing, I can make it look easy. Yeah, there's going to be swearing in the background and carrying on like you wouldn't believe. So because I might want to get into this wiring cabinet again, I'm just going to make it easy. I'm going to do a bit of future proofing. That'll be permanent there. And then I'll just pop this here on a hinge so that when I do need to get back in there, I can just open it up and I'll be able to actually have access to that much room. So that'll be all right. So it looks like I got it sorted out. We've got a couple of USB chargers here. This is the kick-ass remote display for the power boss. So it gives you everything like your state of charge, how long left, etc, etc, how much is going in, how much is coming out. So it's a good little monitor. And you can also turn your inverter on and off just by a simple switch of a button there. You know how they say measure twice and cut once? Well, I did that. Fits beautifully. Goes in there magnificently. I put the carpet on and look how this thing fits. Perfect. Except the carpet's on the wrong side. I never cease to amaze me sometimes. The board's all cut out. I've got the carpet on. I've cut the holes out in the carpet. I'm actually quite pleased with this. It's going to look quite nice. Let's see how this looks. Ooh. Very flashy. RCD, kick-ass remote, fuse box, water tanks, stove, gas, hot water, water pump, and my few little charging ports there, USBs. Whew. Oh, we're almost there. Let's see if we can hook some wires up and then watch out for the mushroom cloud when I turn the battery on. Whew, cracking a sweat doing the wiring. Look at this. Cuts and bruises all over me. Oh, what a job. Anyway, hopefully I've got all the wires correct in here so I don't have to take this thing back out ever again. So this next part's going to be a bit of a trial and error, hopefully not too much error, but I also want to keep the dust out of the box here as well with all the components in it. So I've got this fan, it's a Sirocco fan. The model number is YX2522, just for your info. It does draw 3 cubic meters of air per minute. Now obviously I'm going to have to get another one of these and place it somewhere as well. So the intent is here, I'm going to pop this fan up here. Also on the other end here, it has one of these Phoenix plugs. It comes with the power boss as well, so there's no need to source that. There's a fitting underneath the power boss, and the great thing about this is it activates a fan, just triggers a fan when the fan on the power boss comes on, so it doesn't have to run all the time. On the outside here, I'm just going to put this this grate here. You pick them up from Bunnings for a few bucks. I used to freak out when I was cutting holes in the Caravan, but now I just go for it. Pretty close to perfect. So I'm just going to put a bit of insect screen on there, and then that'll go between there and there. Even wasps and things like that will climb up through there. You wouldn't read about it. I just spun this fan around. I lost the washer and I was down on the ground looking for the washer about here, and just over there this little brown snake, a little eastern brown snake, come across in between the two wheels, and he's gone on the other side of my shed there now. So well, I'm pretty sure he's not going to hang around too long with all the noise I'm making. We're going to run our 2-gauge wire from the power boss up here down to the battery in the car. So in terms of the bits and pieces that I'm going to use on the car and the van today, I've got about a 15-metre run to go from obviously the front of the car to the back of the Caravan. So I'm using this 2-gauge wire. So you hear of it at 2 BNS, battery and starter, or 2 AWG, which is an American wire gauge, I think they call it. But yeah, it's pretty heavy stuff, like literally heavy. I've also got some trigger wire, or just some wire, so it sends a signal from the ignition to say that the car's actually running. And I'm also using, because of the big heavy wire, the long run, and we don't want to get voltage loss, is these massive Anderson plugs. So these are 175 amp. I'm going to start from the back, doesn't really matter where, but I'm just going to follow where the old Anderson wires go, where the 8-gauge goes. Oh yeah, there we go. Run down over the top there, don't anything there, and then I'm just going to put that in there. And then I've got the 2 BNS here, which runs from the positive on the battery and the negative on the battery here. And then I've also put in this 100 amp mega fuse, I think they call it, from Kick-Ass. For the ignition wire, I've just tapped into the blue wire in that, because they're a triple cable. They've got the negative, positive, and the ignition wire. And then I've just run it through under here. I've just got to clean it up a bit. And then down the back, it looks like a bit of schmozzle here, but I've also just put another aluminium tray on here, and I'm going to redo all this and hopefully find a blank in here somewhere, and then just run my my ignition wire into there. Well, I've got the car done, so it's actually turned out quite good, hopefully. I've got to do the whole testing yet, and hopefully you don't have to pull anything apart. I've also left the 50 amp Anderson plug up here as well, just in case I need to tow something that won't fit the 175, of course. I've decided to grab some of this poly pipe. It's green line. It's really, really light, but it's super strong, and it's flexible enough too to make its way down along the chassis there. So it's really easy to just slide it through right down the chassis. I'll just find the best route, and then I'm going to drill some 3mm drain holes every probably 50 centimeters or something along, just for any condensation build-up, or if water gets in there so it doesn't corrode the cable. So it's got my ignition wire in here as well. It's actually pushing through quite nicely. Oh, it's getting exciting now. They're on. I didn't have to pull a battery out. One more wire to go. Pop it onto this plug, the ignition wire, and then, all right, beer in hand. Plug this in. Let's see what happens. Hopefully there's not a big smoking hole in my shed. Let's go for a start. Switch under here, battery switch is on. Oh, fan works. Let's have a look at the remote display. We are up and running. All right, now I've got to check the solar and the DC. Oh, first of all, I'll check AC. Pop in the AC. Now it should go into bypass. It's probably easier if I have a look on the remote display. Putting in 153 amps through that 150 AC charger. That's working. It's also in bypass, which also means that now all the power points in the Caravan are live. Because I've plugged in, so the inverter's not on, it's just going bypass, so we're getting 240 live through to the all the 240 outlets. Oh yeah, looking good so far. Happy chappy. She's been a long road. It's taken me quite a while because I've pretty much done a whole rewire. We'll chuck in our big Anderson plug here. God, she's meaty. Oh, that's good. I'll make sure I'm not charging at the moment. We don't want any DC coming in, which we haven't got. I'll go and start the car. Oh, here we go. Just seen the DC pop in. Oh, there we go, we're going up. 18 amps. There we go, 50 amps pumping in. Beautiful. Oh, one more. Let's hope the solar works. Bringing in the sun. It's a bit of an afternoon sun going on here, but it should be enough to kick it off. Oh, excited. Let's go and check this out. We're going glamping next weekend, so hopefully it's all good. All right, might take a little bit to kick in. There she goes. Starting to build up there a bit. I'll give it a couple of minutes just to get up to speed. But it's working. Yeah, that's great. We're charging at nearly 13 amps there. Late afternoon sun, so I suspect during the day it's going to be pumping out probably maybe up to 30 amps. So she's looking good. That's with the solar on the roof, and then I've got the blanket to go in as well. So I'm going to test the blanket another time. But anyway, how good's this? This is probably been one of the biggest, I guess, car caravan projects that I've done. I don't know how many wires I've cut and joined and soldered, but yeah, it's been magnificent. And just to see it all working now, extremely happy. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe. I really got onto YouTube so I could share the content with the family, and it's good just having people along for the journey as well. I don't do this for money. I don't have any association with any businesses or anything like that. Yeah, it's just enjoyable. I like doing my videos, especially these little, I guess, I don't know, the technical ones, if you want to call them that. Maybe not technical, but yeah, a little bit of educational stuff that I've learned along the way as well. And yeah, anyway, good on ya. I'll see you on the next one.